Hey guys, it's Jess here at Anderson Axolotls again, and I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of a different video. So you guys do know that we breed axolotls and we also own axolotls, as you can see by the tank behind me. This is Toothless and Parker's tank, talk about them all the time. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how we got into rescuing, because there was a whole reason that this started. And if you follow our page, you probably saw the first rescue we ever brought in. First two rescues we ever brought in, actually. The first two rescues we ever brought into Anderson Axolotls was Mushu and, of course, Smoggy. There was an ad placed on Craigslist asking for anybody who was interested in purchasing a golden axolotl from somebody here in the Chicago area. And of course, as soon as I saw the picture of this little golden, my heart broke. He was extremely malnourished, he was on gravel, he was just all around in awful shape. You could look at the photos and see that this little guy needed help. At the time, I had only ever owned axolotls as well as bred axolotls, so I had no idea how to do anything with making them feel better. I mean, I had treated for fungal infections and things like that with my own axolotls over the years, but this is a very different experience for me. So I drove the 45 minutes to pick up this little guy, and I found out that this owner also had a second axolotl, which was Smoggy. And as you guys know, Smoggy is alive and well, and she actually has her forever home here at Anderson Axolotls with her roommate Donut. But Mushu was a very, very different story. When I got Mushu and saw him in person, I was like, oh crap. I brought them both home. I put them in their own individual small little quarantine tanks that I had here set up. Smog right away, right off the bat, started eating. Smog was amazing, did great. Recovery time for Smog was next to nothing. Mushu, on the other hand, was a struggle. I found myself on blogs, talking to other breeders, just trying to figure out what the hell I could do to help this little axolotl survive the neglect that it had been through. And it was very, very, very difficult for me to go through that. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, and I didn't want to be at work the entire time that this was going on, because my heart was, of course, here at my apartment with this little axolotl that was sick and needed my help. Of course, we went through all the basic treatments, Indian almond leaf, cooled chlorinated water every day, but things just kept going from bad to worse. I did everything right, but it wasn't good enough. After a couple days went by and Mushu hadn't eaten anything, I had tried everything. I tried waxworms, I tried blackworms, I tried earthworms, I tried bloodworms, I tried anything under the sun. I tried brine shrimp, I tried all of it. The only thing that he would even snap at was a waxworm. It's about 9 in the morning. I have been trying desperately to get him to eat for the past 3 days, and he finally ate something. I literally came down, thought he was dead, and I got him to eat a little bit of waxworm, and I have never been so happy in my life. I tried everything under the sun to get this little guy to eat, and after a few days had gone by with no luck, I started realizing that this was not the time where I was gonna win, basically. Doubtful he's gonna be around in the morning, honestly. He has fungus now. I think it's just from all the stress of the car ride and then going in and out of tubs, and sometimes when you give a axolotl a little TLC, things just don't go your way. So of course, I didn't want to treat with a salt bath. He was already in such bad shape, so we treated with a tea bath. Tea bath didn't help. Indian almond leaf didn't help. Just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and he was just this frail little thing, and I felt like no matter what I did, it was just making everything worse. So long story short, I ended up losing Mushu after about a week in my care. I gave him everything I could for that week, did everything right, everything everybody told me to do. I tried so hard to do everything I could for this little axolotl, but sometimes even doing your best isn't good enough. Of course, we do have a ray of hope in this whole ordeal, and that would be our little Smoggerella that we got out of it. She's a great eater. She'll eat a whole earthworm in one big bite. Like, she just, oh my god, she's doing amazing. and we absolutely fell in love with her, so of course we kept her. If we hadn't seen Mushu in that Craigslist ad and I hadn't gone out there and gotten Mushu, we wouldn't have saved Smog, and Smog would probably have seen the same fate as Mushu did, because this owner obviously had no idea how to care for an axolotl properly. And that kind of lit a fire in me, and not too long after, you know, somebody contacted me on Facebook saying, hey, I saw your post on this blog and I was wondering if you could take these two in that I got at a pet shop. They've been there forever, and she just wanted us to take them in, and that was how we ended up with Asparagus and Chicken Nugget, who have both been rehomed since then. Asparagus is living at my sister's community center preschool, and Chicken Nugget has wonderful roommates now named Cheddar and Broccoli, which is perfect. And of course, we have taken in several others since then. We have Banana, Remy, M&M. We took in 10 axolotls from Milwaukee a few weeks ago, and we've been rehoming them because they were just a breeder who didn't have the space anymore. I took that moment where I felt like a complete and total failure for losing Mushu and turned it into something completely different. I turned it into my way of doing good in the world. And the most amazing thing about the whole experience with the rescuing and doing that the last few months, because rescuing is very, very new to us, is just basically being able to look at these little guys and see where they came from and where they are now, because it is absolutely astonishing to see how far these little guys have come. The most upsetting thing sitting here and doing with all this rescuing that we've been doing is seeing that there's these people that are misinformed, that don't understand how to take care of these creatures and don't see how amazing they are, and just don't care. They see them as money, they see them as a way to make a profit. They don't see them as an animal with emotions and feelings, and maybe I'm just, you know, personifying human emotion onto an animal, but no matter what the animal is, they deserve to be loved and cared for. If you're going to take an animal and bring it into your home, you should be caring for it, loving it, and showing it just as much respect as you would want to be shown if you were in their situation. These two guys in here, Parker and Toothless, their whole lives is this tank, this 54 gallons of water, these plants, this hammock, that piece of driftwood, this turtle shell. That is their whole life. And they you know, they rely on me to feed them, to take care of them, to make sure the 54 gallons of water in this tank is the correct parameters. They rely on me, and if somebody doesn't understand that, then they shouldn't have a pet. They're just existing in your world, and it's your responsibility to make sure that those animals that are just existing are taken care of. So yeah, that is my very weird informative video. I just wanted to tell you guys about how we got into rescuing and a little bit more about us. I was kind of hoping that throughout this video the two in this tank might be moving around a little bit, but they're not, so I tried. Thank you for watching our YouTube video here on Anderson Axolotls YouTube page. We also do have a Facebook page and a website and an Instagram, so I will leave all those links to that stuff down below. The Facebook and the website are the best ways to get updates on all of the rescues that we have in right now. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next week.